Welcome to History vs. Hollywood, the podcast that dives headfirst into the historical accuracy or glorious inaccuracy of our favorite historical films and television shows. Today we're riding into the American West with the film Dances with Wolves. Released in 1990, Dances with Wolves tells the story of John Dunbar, a Union soldier who befriends a Lakota Sioux tribe during the Civil War era. The film was a critical and commercial success, praised for its beautiful cinematography, its sympathetic portrayal of Native American culture, and its challenge to traditional Western narratives. But was it a truly accurate representation of the American West? Or was it a form of revisionist history? Dances with Wolves undeniably presents a different perspective on the history of the American West. It portrays Native Americans, specifically the Lakota Sioux, with dignity and complexity, showing their rich culture, their strong family bonds, and their deep connection to the land. This was a significant departure from many earlier Westerns that often depicted Native Americans as savage and one-dimensional. The film emphasizes their humanity, their traditions, and their resilience in the face of encroaching white settlement. The film also challenges the traditional narrative of westward expansion, highlighting the brutality and injustice inflicted upon Native American tribes by the U.S. government and white settlers. It doesn't shy away from showing the violence, the displacement, and the destruction of Native American lifeways. The buffalo hunt scene, for example, poignantly illustrates the devastating impact of white expansion on the Lakota's primary source of sustenance. Kevin Costner, who directed and starred in the film, clearly aimed to tell a more nuanced and respectful story. The film's use of the Lakota language and its attention to cultural details were groundbreaking for a Hollywood production. It sought to humanize the Native American experience and to give voice to a perspective that had often been marginalized or ignored. The film went to great lengths to portray Lakota customs, social structures, and spiritual beliefs with a degree of authenticity rarely seen in Hollywood. However, Dances with Wolves is not without its criticisms. Some historians and Native American scholars have argued that, despite its good intentions, the film still falls into some familiar tropes. They contend that it presents a romanticized view of Native American life, and that it tells the story primarily through the eyes of a white protagonist. The white savior narrative, where a white character plays a crucial role in aiding a marginalized group, is a common trope that some argue is present in Dances with Wolves. Another point of discussion is the film's portrayal of the Lakota Sioux as a unified and idealized group. In reality, Native American tribes were diverse and complex, with their own internal conflicts and varying relationships with white settlers. The film, in its attempt to be respectful, may have oversimplified this reality. Historical accounts indicate that intertribal relations were often complex and fraught with conflict, a nuance that the film doesn't fully explore. The film's narrative also focuses on the noble savage trope, which, while seemingly positive, can still be a problematic way of portraying Native Americans. It suggests that they are somehow more pure or more connected to nature than white people, which can be a limiting and ultimately dehumanizing stereotype. While Dances with Wolves attempts to subvert some negative stereotypes, it arguably reinforces others in its portrayal of the Lakota as inherently more virtuous and spiritual. Despite these criticisms, Dances with Wolves remains a significant film in the history of Western cinema. It opened the door for more diverse and nuanced portrayals of Native Americans, and it sparked a national conversation about the legacy of westward expansion and its impact on indigenous populations. It challenged audiences to reconsider the traditional narratives of the Wild West and to acknowledge the injustices committed against Native Americans. Dances with Wolves is a complex film that attempts to revise the traditional narrative of the American West. It offers a more sympathetic and respectful portrayal of Native Americans, but it also falls prey to some familiar tropes and oversimplifications. It's a film that should be commended for its intentions and its impact, but it should also be viewed with a critical eye, recognizing its limitations and its place within a long history of representing the American West on film. Thank you for joining me on History vs. Hollywood. Join me next time as we examine the Tudors. Until then, keep exploring the fascinating and often complex relationship between film, history, and the stories we tell about ourselves.